I didn't realize it was possible to feel excited, but also super nervous to film a video at the same time. And I don't even know why I'm nervous. I think it's just because we've kept it a secret for what feels like so long now. It's only been a few weeks that I can't believe I'm like sharing it with the world. But hi guys, hello. I have a little bit of a secret that we've been keeping from you guys for a few weeks. Maybe a few of you caught on. I feel like I did a pretty good job of hiding the lead up, but I did start to leave some Easter eggs in the vlogs and a few people caught on. But Matt and I are married. I don't even know where to start, honestly. And it's crazy because I always thought that I would tell you guys sooner, but the longer we went keeping it a secret, the more like fun it was, and obviously sharing so much of my life online. It was really fun to just keep this between like us for a while and then let our family and friends know. But on May 13th, exactly a year after we got engaged, we got married in Orlando, Florida, and it was truly the best day in the world. Like, I wouldn't change anything about the way that we eloped or got married. And I feel like you can use the terms married and elope interchangeably because like we did have a wedding day, it's our marriage, but we did elope. I would say just the two of us, but our best friends were there, Brianna and Corey. They were our witnesses. Yeah, this is just gonna be like a little bit of a surprise, like tell you a few details. That way I don't start just like posting wedding content, because I did film a whole wedding week prep vlog, and then Brianna is the best friend in the world, and to capture as much footage as possible for us to remember the day by. In terms of like video, we did have a photographer, but she did such an amazing job, and I do really want to share some of our wedding day with you guys. There's definitely some parts of it that we are going to keep private, like our ceremony, that we're going to keep private to ourselves, but I want to share parts of our day at least to show that you don't need to spend a lot of money to have a really great wedding day. So yeah, that vlog is coming. You guys will get 3 uploads this week. I'm going to call it like wedding week, so you guys are seeing this, I think, either Sunday or Monday. Wednesday you guys will see the wedding week prep vlog, and then Friday you guys will see like a little behind the scenes of our wedding day, which I'm really excited to share. Like I said, to just show that, you know, you don't have to spend a lot of money on a wedding day for it to be great. Honestly, I think if we had had an actual wedding day, I just would not have enjoyed it, which is part of the reason you guys know that we wanted to elope. And I think I'm gonna do a whole catch-up Q&A after, so if you guys have any questions, let me know down below, but I'll save them for that video and I'll ask you guys on Instagram as well. Yeah, I guess I can give you guys a bit of a backstory. I also have some like notes too, just so I don't forget, but we decided, I wouldn't say like spontaneously, I don't really know like what you would consider spontaneous, but it was actually New Year's Eve. It's in our wine book. We already had this trip planned. We're gonna go and celebrate our 1-year engagement anniversary. We invited Brianna and Corey in terms of like doing like just a big friend trip, but then also celebrating our anniversary. And then texted Brianna and was like, I think we're gonna get married when we're there. Nowhere else felt right to us. Doing it in Ottawa, like, once again, I feel like anything I say doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just means it wasn't for us. Didn't feel right. We considered New York City, but we really just kind of kept coming back to Florida because of where we got engaged. And we knew that we didn't want to have a Disney wedding, quote unquote, or a Disney elopement, because we wanted to always look back on our wedding day. And of course, we're probably gonna always love Disney, but we just wanted to have like very timeless elopement photos. That Disney is just like a part of our relationship. It's not our whole relationship. And so we wanted to have a very elegant, timeless, classic elopement. I was like, oh, I just don't know where we're gonna do that. Nothing was like really screaming to us, like in terms of places to elope. And then I just happened to stumble across Orlando Courthouse, and I just fell in love with it. It was so beautiful, and it felt like a meant to be moment that we were like meant to get married in Orlando in Florida. So we started planning it. I got my dress from Lulu's. I spent $100 on it, and I didn't need any alterations or anything. It was absolutely perfect. It fit me like a glove. Matt got a suit. We really didn't do too much, honestly, to prep. We didn't have to. We had already booked, like I said, this whole trip and paid for it. And then we just decided to add on our elopement. We're really lucky that one of our good friends, Erica, is a photographer in Orlando. And so I was like, hey, how do you feel about shooting a wedding, even though you don't normally shoot them? We're eloping, and this is kind of like the vision board we have. And she was so on board. yeah, that's kind of how it came to be. We knew that we wanted to keep our elopement a secret until it had happened. Most of our family, I would say, was on board with it, or I wouldn't maybe say on board, but they had just kind of come to the conclusion that this is what we wanted and they weren't going to change our minds. I think there was definitely a few people who thought we were still having a wedding, and even up until like the week before we left, we still had family members being like, so when are you doing your bachelor party? Like, when are you planning your wedding? Like, they like just thought that we were going to change our minds. And so we decided to keep it a secret. We both kind of took our own judgment in telling who we wanted to tell, who we knew would be supportive ahead of time, I guess. So I'm not gonna like get into who knew and who didn't, but I'll just say that like my parents knew, and Matt told people that he wanted to tell, and we had a few friends that knew as well that like I wanted to let in on the secret, but not many people. And that was just a choice that we'd always made, that we wanted it to be a surprise kind of for everybody. And I tried to be really strategic about while we were on vacation, because as much as I know people are just like nosy, I'm nosy too. A part of me kind of felt like our engagement felt a little not enjoyed to the fullest, because I obviously didn't share much on that trip, but I had so many messages being like, oh my God, I think you're engaged. I hope you're engaged. And I know people mean well when they say that stuff, but it made us enjoy it less in the moment, honestly, just because we had people constantly asking us, like not even people we knew, like it just felt like we couldn't fully enjoy our engagement. So I wanted to be really strategic with how I approached us getting married, because the last thing I wanted was a bunch of DMs being like, oh my God, are you getting married this weekend? And I know people mean so well, and I'm a nosy person, I get it, but I just really wanted to like fully enjoy it without any opinions. So I think I did a pretty good job. I don't know, let me know if you kind of like had an idea. I did leave some Easter eggs afterwards, but in terms of leading up to the trip, Brianna and I both did a good job, because we kind of knew we both had to talk about it, because a lot of Brianna's followers follow me and vice versa. Yeah, when your best friend's also on social media, you kind of have to like plan out. So we just, like I said, we said we were taking time off to enjoy a friend vacation, and we really did do just that. It was honestly the best day ever. Matt and I don't shut up about it. There's literally nothing we would change. We had rented a Jeep, which was so fun, and I'm really excited to share parts of our day with you guys. And like I said, for that main reason that you can have a really beautiful day on a budget. You really don't have to spend a lot of money. The biggest tip I want to tell anyone in like a season of life where they just got engaged or they don't have a huge budget is the success of your marriage does not lie in how expensive and extravagant it is. So yeah, I hope that maybe resonates with somebody. I want to say total, and like I said, everyone's version of a budget for elopement wedding is going to be so different. I think total we spent about, I want to say $2,200 to $2,300. That does not include our trip, because like I said, the trip was already paid for and done before we decided to get married. But our photographer was obviously the biggest expense for us. That was $1,800, and then everything else, like my dress was $100 and something bucks. I wore Converse. Brianna did my makeup. I did get my hair done, actually. That was like around $100 and something. Yeah, just paid for that out of pocket. And that's why I also haven't been sharing my budgets the last few months, because it was just like a lot of work to take out all the wedding stuff and share it. So that's also why I haven't been sharing a ton of budget stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the last few months I felt a little distant from you guys because I've been keeping this secret. So now it feels like just nice to be able to share it with you guys. And I'm filming this the day after I hit 100K. So I just feel like this weekend is an absolute just total whirlwind. And I'll get into that after in a different video. But just know I love you guys so much. I know you guys know it, but I don't want to give too much away because like I said, I'm going to share some moments with you guys. But we slept in until like about 7, that's sleeping in for us, and we went and got coffee downstairs. We sat on our balcony, just enjoyed some time together. I did some eye patches, had a little slow morning. Brianna and Corey came over. I got my hair done. Brianna did my makeup, and it was just like a very slow paced morning, which is what we wanted. And I vividly remember, it's kind of we had an open concept room at the boardwalk, but I was sitting in the bathroom getting my hair done, and Erica had just come, our photographer, and Erica's actually shot for Brianna and Corey too. She did some beautiful photos for them. Everyone was just laughing and there was no stress. It was just like my heart just felt so content in that moment. This is another thing I'm going to touch on. I've been extremely emotional since we got home. But I just remember sitting there getting my hair done, and the hairstylist said something to me. She was like, wow, this like really just feels like the perfect way to do it. And it really was. Like, I was just sitting there and everyone was laughing and giggling, and Matt and Corey went for breakfast, and Corey helped Matt put his bow tie on. And I like forever have the memory of like it being like me and my best friend getting ready for our wedding day. And or my wedding day, I should say, but I don't have a lot of friends anymore. I feel like I've really struggled to stay connected with people from high school. I just feel like I've grown apart from a lot of people, and I've never been someone to imagine my wedding day. I never was. I knew that from like being a kid, honestly, that I didn't want to have the big wedding and all that stuff, but to be able to share that moment with like my other half, like with Brianna, was just the most special day ever. Like, she was my maid of honor, basically. She is. And it was just, I think in a weird way, like also brought our friendship a lot closer. Like, we're already so close, but it was just such a big moment, and I couldn't have imagined it with anyone else by my side. And speaking of emotions, I have really struggled a lot since we've been home, which is, I didn't expect it. I knew the wedding blues were a thing. Truthfully, I just never thought, like, I was like, oh, you know, I had always said that it's one day of your life, and obviously it's a huge day, you're making a huge commitment, but I have and I will forever be someone who thinks that your marriage is more important than one day of your life. Like, your marriage is more important than your wedding. Like, it's a beautiful day, don't get me wrong, you're coming together, but your marriage is more important. In my opinion, at least, and you can disagree with me on that, and that's okay, but it's one day of your life that, yes, you are vowing to spend the rest of your life with someone, but you have to be constantly working on your relationship every day, on your marriage. Never really went into it having this big attachment to my wedding day. I knew it was gonna be a really fun day, and Matt and I were really excited about it, but we both kind of just always felt like it was a day to celebrate our love, but it wasn't this like huge deal. I don't know, I hope that doesn't come across the wrong way, but I've always been raised that like your marriage is really important. I didn't expect to be so sad, and I was really, really blue when I got home. I still am. Like, I'm finally doing it today because I have to, but I've had my wedding nails for like 4 weeks now, and I don't want to get them off because like it's so stupid to be so sentimental over something, but I've really struggled. It was just the most perfect day. That's because it was just about Matt and I. It was not about anyone else. It was not about anyone else's drama or our guests or anything. It was literally just about Matt and I, and that's exactly what we wanted. Just like a very low-key, chill, fun day. We got to 110% be present and just enjoy it fully without worrying about guests and all these things going on and running around. Yeah, so I'm just trying to remind myself that it's normal, but I was honestly quite shocked at how emotional I was, even that night. So after our wedding day, we both all went back to our rooms, and we did stay on Disney property. That was important to me, I guess. I really wanted to stay at the boardwalk, which is where we got engaged. I really wanted to have like a nice, beautiful room to get ready in, take photos, and we celebrated that night at Epcot, which was just so fun. To be able to integrate a little bit of that Disney magic into our wedding day was really special. I didn't vlog or anything. But we just had a really fun night, and I remember I was on Spaceship Earth with Brianna, and I just started sobbing, and just like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm just really sad because our wedding day is about to be over, and I don't want it to be over. And I was sobbing. We got back to our room that night. I cried the whole walk home because it was just such a perfect day that I just like didn't want it to end. We have so many adventures ahead of us, but I just really did not expect to be so emotional over it. In terms of future plans, really quick, so we are having a reception-ish kind of like just party at my parents' house in August. As much as we wanted to elope, we knew that we wanted to somehow celebrate with family, but for us, and you know, I think there's still family that don't really understand why we did it. Like, we still kind of get asked like, well, why don't you want people there when you're doing their vows? Like, why don't you want people at your ceremony? And I just think that's such an intimate and personal moment that we're vowing our lives to each other. Like, we don't need other people there. I understand that people want to be there, but we didn't want anyone there. And I just think weddings have turned into such an elaborate and extravagant money grab thing that like everyone kind of forgets what it's about at the end of the day. And it's about like joining someone on life and vowing your life to them. And I think as a society with consumerism and just wedding culture, we've kind of forgotten about that. And so yeah, this day was about our love, and we wanted to vow our lives to each other privately. We did still want to celebrate with our loved ones and have a bit of a reception. You guys know we had our engagement party at my parents' house, and I'm really excited about that. I'm kind of just finalizing some stuff. We did decide to get a photographer again, and that's just because family portraits were really important to me. We obviously have grandparents that are getting older. Matt lost his grandpa last year. I just want to have like nice photos with our family. We're not doing anything elaborate. Like, it's not gonna be like, okay, one sibling come here, take a picture with Carter. It's just gonna be Matt's side of the family, my side of the family. I haven't decided if I'm gonna wear my same dress again or maybe get something else to share that day with Brianna again. Like, she really is my maid of honor. They're gonna come stay at our house and we're gonna, you know, she'll help me get ready again and stuff, but really excited about that. It's gonna be a pretty big party. We're inviting about like 70 people. However, I think it's important to preface that the venue would have been the most expensive part. We thought about maybe doing it at a restaurant. My parents allowing us to use their home as a venue really saves us so much money. So everything else is pretty lined up. We have like an ice cream truck and we're getting a local caterer in town to do it. And she's so sweet. She's like, I'll do whatever you want. You know, she doesn't upcharge for weddings. We go get coffee and scones at their bakery all the time. I'm really excited. It's gonna be like a fun night to celebrate our love. So we have that to look forward to, and I'm really glad I decided to space things out just for my mental health. It kind of keeps me having things to look forward to. I don't think I could have like done the elopement, come home, had a reception, and then gone on a honeymoon. Like, I think I just would have been way too sad. So it's nice to space things out. And in terms of a honeymoon, we are kind of doing like a 2-part honeymoon, but not really. Transparently, we did have family that wanted to help us with our wedding from the get-go. Even though they knew we were eloping, we could use that money however we wanted. And because we eloped as budget friendly as possible and kind of did it with our own money, we are going to use that money towards our honeymoon. You guys know we already have a lot of travel booked this year. We actually have Brianna and Corey's wedding in the fall, and then I have some work trips, and there's just like a lot going on that we didn't want to like squeeze our honeymoon in just to squeeze it in and not enjoy it. So we're actually going to honeymoon on our 1-year anniversary next year. And we didn't do personal vows on our wedding day. So we're going to do our vows on our 1-year anniversary. Just wanted to do something a bit more unique. And I'm really excited. We finally mapped it all out. We were originally going to do France and London, or France and England, but it was just like a bit too much with how much we wanted to pack in like around 10 days. So we are actually doing something so exciting, and we haven't decided on days yet. And if you guys have been to Paris, France, let us know. We're thinking 10 days, maybe enough, 10 to 12 days, but we are doing a few days in Paris. We're obviously doing a few days in Disneyland Paris, and then we're headed to the south of France. And we are going to, fingers crossed, we don't have tickets yet, but we are planning this whole literal trip around the Monaco GP, which I'm just so excited about. It just seems like a dream. And we're gonna stay in Nice and just explore a little bit of the coast. And I'm really excited. You guys have known that we've been saving Europe for our honeymoon. So, and then this fall we are taking, I guess you could say, a little bit of a mini moon. It's more of like a 100K celebration, but we are finally headed to Disneyland for a few days in September, right before Brianna and Corey's wedding. We just couldn't pass up the prices of flights. They are so cheap within the US. Yeah, so that's kind of like what's coming up. And I'll probably just sprinkle some of our like wedding reception planning content in the vlogs. I think I'll do a whole like wedding weekend vlog, like for our second wedding weekend, I guess you could say. Yeah, so I feel like I'm forgetting something. I hope I'm not. I wanted to keep this video like as short as I can for a chatty gal. It's already 24 minutes, short and sweet. And then after all the wedding content is out this week, I'll film like a little catch-up Q&A, and you guys can ask whatever questions that you have. Hopefully I covered at least some of them in this video. But I cannot wait to share this next chapter with you guys and share some of the content and just share some of the moments from our wedding day. Like I said, to just show that you can elope and it can be beautiful. I feel like the one thing when we were looking into eloping is that there is content online, and I really appreciated people that shared little moments and pockets from their day while I was planning, because it helped me out so much. So anyways, I love you guys so much. Yeah, I'm just so excited to tell you guys. So I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.